like I said earlier, if you don't celebrate yourself, ain't nobody else going to do it for you.
True that.
So, hey, get out here, celebrate yourself. And I have on the line a lady who is no stranger to celebrating herself, and she wants others to celebrate themselves as well. And she wrote a book called The Journal of a Woman with Lived. Lived is in like script letters, baby, because this one here has lived. She has lived. It's The Journal of a Woman with Lived Experiences, a 21-day guided journal. I have Shawnta Jackson on the line with me. Shawnta, how are you this evening?
I am grateful. How are you today?
I am fine. You know, listen, it's pretty cloudy here in Chicago, but it's nice outside. And then I'll say this. Anytime it rains in Chicago, Shawnta, everybody needs to know that I wash my car. That means it's going to rain. So just know that Samantha washed her car when it rains outside. So I gave the city some rain today. Shout out to me.
Yeah, it's pretty nice out here. Hi, Miss Robin. How are you today?
Robin says hello to you as well. She she was her
hello.
Yes, there's Robin. Hey, Robin. Yes, Shawnta, Robin, Shawnta.
Nice to meet you.
You too. I'm excited. I'm excited. I love the song. I'm a diva,
yes.
And it was a great intro. And I've been listening to the show, and I'm excited about today's interview.
Well, you know, I always believe in good energy, and I know you and I talked a little bit before. Just to feel the energy from the phone, we wound up talking like girlfriends, and I think that, you know, it's always good synergy. And I like to my guests for each show, there has to be some synergy. There has to be in any kind of way, and when I read your bio, I said you stepped out on faith. Well, you emailed on faith. You emailed me on faith. And I happened
you
did. And I happened to read your email about, you know, you doing some, you know, you sent me this press kit. And I was just impressed because that I believe in work, and I stepped out on faith and with my brand and just did everything. So Shawnta, how long have you been an entrepreneur? Tell me a little bit about your journey.
Well, I've been a failed entrepreneur a couple of times. So my business now, I started in April 2015, but I also started that business around 2010, and I failed, and I kind of just rebranded myself. I'm originally from Las Vegas.
Yes.
But kind of was a late bloomer, not really sure. I was a real estate agent before, a loan officer. I worked in the professional field. My background is in public health, and I came to Maryland, University of Maryland, got a job, and 2 months in, I knew that was it. 2 months in, I said, you know what, this is my last job, and this is the last time. and I ended up staying there for 4 years, and I said, before I leave, people will know my name, and they will know my work. And so I've been consulting. I basically help people to help others. I help with programming and evaluation of socially conscious initiatives. I was just listening to your caller, Michelle. She was talking about prison, and I work with a Black Lives group and a Black Lives movement group in Baltimore, helping them with their strategy, different types of projects. But I've been an entrepreneur since April 2015.
Okay.
But I started on the side consulting, working full time, and then as of November 1, 2017, 100% self-employed.
Wow. And you said that you are a failed twice entrepreneur. So you said failed twice, right?
Yes. I've started businesses, and I'm pretty good at starting. I'm pretty good at doing the website and the business cards and then the write-up, and then just being my own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And time, it was just different. And ever since then, and I'm constantly pushing myself. And then that's what brings us to this book, what we're talking about today, the Journal of a Woman with Lived Experiences.
Well, I think that it's very brave of you to have written this book. And one of the things that stuck out to me, I have a couple of chapters that are really just dope to me in themselves. But you said, and I underlined this, you decided to move forward with the project because you wanted to take a chance on yourself. Shawnta, do you know how profound that statement is? And you probably just wrote it and didn't even realize how profound it is. We, as people, do not take chances on ourselves enough. Do you agree with that?
And yeah, I definitely agree. Like you, when I was younger, I had a diary, and I would talk smack about my mom and talk about boys and different things. But in my adult life, I'm 39 years old, so my young adult life and up to now, I always journal. And I would finish probably about 2 journals a year, and I would always throw them away.
Right.
Now, embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to find them.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I started a journal, and I said, you know what? This journal is going to be different. I didn't know that it was going to be a book. I said, this journal is going to be different, and I'm going to share this with my son. And so when I pass on, my son will have something and my grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And then once I got towards the end of the journal, about October of last year, I kind of got embarrassed again, and I said, you know what? I don't know if I want my son to read this because I'm single, I'm dating, I'm talking about guys, I'm talking about my frustration, manifesting love, just staying true to myself and shallow things and different things like that. But I was reading my journal entry to a friend, and he reminded me, and he was like, no, keep it. It's a part of your legacy, and you can help someone. And plus, I share in the journal one of my personal stories of resilience, and I did not write this, my journal entries for a book.
Okay.
Like I said, I knew it was going to be something special. I got that reminder from a friend, and then something that has had this vision like this, aha, I know what I'm going to do.
Right.
Instead of me focusing more so on my professional career field in consulting, I think I'm going to share who I am as Shawnta Jackson to encourage other women and to model, to say, if I can do this, so can you.
Wow.
And I'm learning as I go, and I'm on a journey. So even just you're joining me now on this journey, and there's going to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, and you'll be on with me on that journey and watching me as I grow. But as I grow and as I learn, I'm transparent and I'm helping myself, but I'm also helping other people. And then by me helping you, you help someone else.
You know, I always believe in sowing seeds, and when you do stuff from a place of genuine giving, it always turns out in your favor. I don't do things expecting somebody to do something else for me, but I like how you said we're joining each other on the journey. And what's so crazy, Shawnta, I always believe everything happens for a reason. As I looked at your bio, I was like, wait, is this girl following me? Like, girl, we have lived in the same places. You know, we've lived in the same cities, states. Only thing I just have never lived on the East Coast. But seriously, I lived in Vegas, from Chicago, lived in Vegas, came back home, went back to Vegas. So you kind of parallel me in those living situations, right?
That is right. Born and raised in Las Vegas when I was 19, and this is one of my personal stories that I tell. And so when I was 19, I actually moved to Chicago. I was in college, undergrad, and I had a boyfriend. My boyfriend, I was 19 years old. My boyfriend had 5 children from a previous relationship.
Girl, wait a minute, girl. Now, see, listen. Now, first of all,
you see how I tried to skip through that?
No, I want you to skip through it because this is the type of stuff we need to know. This is what we need to know, because I know it's some ladies out here that do it, and it's okay. You was 19, you know. Did you meet him before you came to Chicago?
No.
Okay, so you met him. You were an undergrad student. He had 5 kids, girl. 5.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I was attracted to hot boys.
Let's break down what a hot boy is for the folks that don't know, Shawnta. Okay, let's break it down. You ready?
For the folks who don't know, if I have to define it, I would just say
wait a minute, Shawnta. What we gonna do? We gonna marinate on the hot boy definition because we got a break. Okay, so let's marinate on what a hot boy is when we come back and why we are attracted to those guys. All right, we'll be back with Shawnta Jackson and myself, Samantha Thomas, on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What's your name? 'Cause I'm impressed. Can you treat me good? I won't settle for less. You a hot boy, a rock boy, a fun toy, boy. Where you live? Is it by yourself? Can I move with you? Do you need some help? I cook, boy, I'll give you more. I'm a fly girl, and I like those hot boys. Say what? Baby, you got what I want. See, 'cause y'all be driving Lexus Jeeps and the Benz Jeeps and the Lincoln Jeeps, nothing cheaper. Got them platinum visas. Hot boys, baby, you got what I want.
You're listening to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's your girl Samantha Thomas hanging out with you until 9 p.m. tonight. If you want to call in, get in on a conversation with me. I'm always talking about something good. And we about to talk about a great topic right now about hot boys. Shout out to the song that came in through my brother Jared. DJ Flo on sometimes on occasion, but Jared to me all the time. That's my little brother over there. He's always rocking it out, and he be smooth looking too. Ladies, he looks good. All right, 312-374-8130 to get in on the conversation. 312-374-8130 to chat with me tonight. And on the line, I got my girl, Shawnta Jackson. She is an entrepreneur, leader, speaker, and the author of The Journal of a Woman with Lived Experiences. This 21-day guided journal will get you through life and will help you hopefully do some self-reflection. Shawnta, did you like your intro music there? Did you hear that?
Yes, and you know what? I don't think I have to explain or define what a hot boy is, because I think Missy did it very well.
I was waiting just to let that part come out. You know, we really don't have to explain it. But for those who may still be on the like, what bus? Let's break it down, Shawnta. I'm gonna let you break it down, and I'll give my interpretation. But I'm sure you're gonna break it down. What is a hot boy? What did you fall in love with in Chicago? Chicago is full of them now, full of hot boy.
I don't know. I guess is that. I guess I was young and I was attracted to flashy things, but honestly, I thought that this was someone who was experienced, that I could grow with, that could teach me certain things, that we can, I can teach him, we can grow together. That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But I would say, a hot boy, someone that he's just, around the way, a lot of women are attracted to him, and he's attracted to a lot of women.
Yeah.
And the whole settling down, it might work sometimes or for a temporary but it's not necessarily permanent. And, so I'll stop there with my definition of a hot boy. Well, and then you can probe and let me know what else you want to know.
Well, let me break it down, too, because bottom line, Chicago got a lot of men that are, they'll charm you around here in Chicago. You got charmed. Chicago brothers know how to do it, too. I would say to add on to the hot boy, he, like you said, he's very attractive, and he attracts women, and the women, the whole thing. They like him. They love him. He's draped in nice clothes majority of the time. And it's just, sometimes we're attracted to that, Shawnta, and that's okay. Like you said, you were 19, you were young. It was flashy. It was beautiful, but it didn't eventually work, did it?
No, it did not. And no, it did not at all. In fact, how that ended is the last night that we were together, I slept in the bed with my shoes on, and I snuck out of the house.
Wow.
With my son.
Snuck out of the house with you? You had shoes on in the bed. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to leave the night before, so I'm just like, well, I couldn't do anything. That's the only control or power that I had, so I kept my shoes on.
Wow. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry, honey.
No, I was just saying, and that's my first journal entry. Sure, and it's one of my stories of resilience that I consider a turning point in my life. And the reason why I share that story is for two reasons. One, I know that there are women right now who are going through that, whether you are 19, 25, 45, or 58. There are women going through that. And I tell that, and I tell this story, and I tell towards the end of that unhealthy relationship of how I left, and I took a chance on myself. It was not planned. I didn't have Social Security cards, birth certificates. It wasn't a planned thing. It was just something. Sometimes you just have to walk away and just have faith, and it's something inside of you that says, you know what, you can do it, and this is where I am now. I'm doing well. Mm-hmm. And so that's one reason why I share that story, is because I want to model to people to say, if I can do it, so can you. And then the other reason why I share it is because I'm single. I'm a single mother, and I'm dating. And in my journal entries, I talk a lot about love, relationships, manifesting love, expecting love, self-validation.
Right.
And I want people to kind of understand who I am and why I think the way that I do. And so those are the two reasons why I decided to share that particular journal entry.
Well, I think it's very important to share, and it's very transparent. What draws people, and I think I'm drawn to transparency, and I think the more transparent that you can be, the more people are apt to like, oh, okay, I need to, they'll look and they'll peek at it, but then they'll open the book. And I think once you get to, I like how you came out with that story in the beginning. You didn't even, you didn't wait. You didn't have to get to chapter 4 or 5 to get that story. I like how you gave it to us straight in the beginning. That right there is what we needed to know. And I things happen, especially how we're in this pandemic. And I don't know if you've heard, Shawnta, but just the rise of domestic violence cases. It's crazy.
Yes, yes. And this is why, and so right now the words that are coming out, I'm hoping that I'm speaking to someone. Yes, I'm talking to you, Samantha, but it's someone that's listening that needs to hear this. And sometimes you can't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
That's right.
Sometimes you just have to make a decision. And when it's your opportunity, you might think you can't do it, and you might think you have to pre-plan. Go. Just, you can do it. There's resources out there. You have it inside of you. Yes, there's a lot of, it's a lot of trauma, and there's a lot of emotional things that you'll have to process, but you can do it. I am resilient. You are resilient. You can do it. And we all have it back, right?
We sure do.
And we all have displayed resilience in some type of way. And make that your story, own your story, and use it to improve yourself, but then also, again, to help others.
Well, Shawnta, we're going to have to take a break. What we're going to do when we come back, we're going to talk more about another chapter that really stuck out in my mind. And I think it's good for everybody to hear. You got Shawnta Jackson on the line with me. She is talking about her book, The Journey of a Woman with Lived Experiences, 21-Day Guided Journal. Stay with me on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON. We're your original social media. The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I won't tell your secrets. Your secrets are safe with me.
Listen to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's your girl Samantha Thomas here, hanging out with you tonight on the evening show. Here with you until about 9 p.m. And on the line, we're going to come back to the beautiful Shawnta Jackson, who's been chatting with me this evening. She won't be before us much longer, but her story is so inspiring, not only to myself, but hopefully it touches other ladies and men, on the journey to just some self-discovery. It's called The Journal of a Woman with Lived Experiences, a 21-day guided journal. And I know, Shawnta, you were just giving some encouragement out to people in certain domestic situations, but I am going to jump to a chapter that really stuck out to me, and it was the 9th journal entry, Balancing Independence and Relationships. And I think that balance is the main thing. It's something that people struggle with. How is your balance right now? How do you think?
I think I'm pretty good. If you don't mind, since you mentioned it, I can go ahead and it's up to you. It's pretty short. I can read the journal entry if you like.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. And for those of you who are listening, if you're interested, the book is available only at ShawntaJackson.com. And this is my 9th journal entry, page 51,
yes.
Balancing Independence and Relationships. As humans and as adults, we should not depend on one another to make us happy. While people can contribute to our happiness, it is an individual responsibility. Mm-hmm. We should not be dependent on anyone to provide us with peace of mind or joy. While interdependence, such as depending on one another to maintain a home, lifestyle, or other goals, is commendable, allowing yourself to be put in a position where you are unable as an adult to supply your own basic needs is not ideal. And in my opinion, it opens the door for control and even abuse. With that said, it's important for us to find a healthy balance that works for our intimate relationships and for our individual selves. And that's me kind of serving as like a coach and advisor. Mm-hmm. But then the next, in my actual journal entry, is so Shawnta's 9th journal entry. Everyone in my family is independent and single. That can be seen as a positive thing, but I don't see it that way. I know that I can live the rest of my life as a single and dating person and achieve as much success and be okay in life. I know this. I'm actually comfortable not sharing my space and making life decisions on my own. However, I don't want to be so independent that I'm not capable of being in a relationship and sharing my life with someone. That being said, I do want to be loved. I do want to receive and accept love and give that love. I just have to allow myself to give it a chance and not run or push that person away out of fear. The last guy that I dated told me that I was a runner. That may be true, but I realized that he was a person that I should have run from in the beginning. He was not worthy of my time, my person. He was not and is not the one. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I made the right decision to stop dating him. I guess it's just one of those perks of being independent. You don't feel like you have to put up with a person who is truly not for you.
That's right.
And for you, your guy, when it comes to relationships and your independence, what do you know to be true about yourself? Give yourself advice.
Well, I gave myself some advice, and I'm totally independent, and I know that I've heard lots of people say, well, you work a lot. I just feel like somebody will balance me out. You know, you just have to find a balance with that person. Maybe I do need probably to be with somebody who works a lot. I don't know, because the balance is there, but I've been called a runner before, and I was like, what? Yes, you run away. You always moving around. But my advice to myself would just probably be continue being you. And the things that are supposed to come to you will come to you. You know, I enjoyed even hearing you read that. And it's just just the introspect that you get when reading this book is interesting, Shawnta. So I think you're on to something so amazing. Just even allowing people to write stuff out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. This book, again, 21 journal entries. And the reason it's 21 is the individuals that I engage with on social media, I gave them an option. Mm-hmm. And most people, when I was writing the book, I engaged the readers. And they said days. And I understand why people said 21 days. It's said that, but it takes anywhere between 21 and 28 days to establish a habit.
Right.
So I understand why people did that. But again, these are my real personal journal entries that I did not write for a book. And I'm sharing my vulnerability in an effort to help someone else. You know, and a lot of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just think that the 21 days to form a habit, I love that because I was researching that earlier, and it does take 21 days to form a habit. So hopefully they can form a habit of just really writing it down, but believing what you write down. That's the main thing, believing it and living by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if anything else, I know we talked about, like, again, I am who I am. These are my personal journal entries. And I talk about a lot of different topics. So we've talked a little bit about relationships, but then I also talk about the importance of gratitude, and I have some exercises in there. I talk about positive affirmations, life visioning.
Yes, you do.
I actually share my bucket list on my 21st journal entry. And I just just really quick before I know our time is going to end, I just wanted to touch a little bit on mental health.
Oh, that's important.
Yes. And so mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. And this journaling in this book and journaling in general helps us with to gain clarity of our thoughts and feelings, and we get a better personal understanding of ourselves and relief from stress and anxiety, and it helps us to improve communication with the people who matter to us.
Right.
And it improves our mental health. And a lot of people, I think it's a stat, mental health first aid. I think it's mentalhealthfirstaid.org. It says that as of February of last year, 2019, in the U.S., only 41% of people who had a mental health disorder in the past year actually received professional health care or other services.
That's really unfortunate. Yeah.
Right. But this book may actually prompt some individuals to actually seek therapy. And we're often told by therapists,
right,
even life coaches, counselors, we're told to journal, and a lot of people don't know how or where to start. And this book is for them.
I think your book is a perfect start for that. Even the 13th journal entry, the managing anxiety and stress, just covers some of the things that you talked about, especially with mental health. And you know, when you're overwhelmed, I like some of the pointers that you mentioned, even down to learning to say no, not right now. I don't have it to give. Love people from a distance. Ooh-wee. And turn off your phone notifications. I need to start doing that sometimes. Yes, because I will answer if I see like an alert. You know, although I need to be on call with my phone, sometimes it's like, okay, let me turn this off, because it can be overwhelming and that can mess with you. So hopefully during this pandemic, if you all are looking for something to read on your on your time, because most of us need something extra to do. I love to read books, and I think that your book, Shawnta, is a great way to start with getting your journal. Get you a cute pen. I got a cute pen that I have to write as I'm writing things out, because this is a great, it's not like, sometimes like I don't feel like reading. This is a great, easy, and fast read because you're actually doing a lot of work, self-introspective work, right?
Yeah, and some individuals, the first story I talk about is a story of trauma, and most counselors with trauma-informed care or trauma-informed therapy, they really don't start with that. So that was kind of a push for me. I know some individuals, they just it's not designed, you don't have to start from day 1, 2, 3. You can some people have sat down and they've read the entire book in one sitting,
right,
and then they go back and they journal. So in the actual book, I provide blank pages for the reader to journal.
Well, Shawnta, we have to go to a break, and I wanted to thank you so much for calling in with me tonight. You can get her book. It is at ShawntaJackson.com, and that is ShaWnta Jackson.com. Shawnta, ShaWnta Jackson.com. Go to the website. Very beautiful sister, and I'm so honored to have chatted with you tonight. Shawnta, I expect to see great things. So my last question, how's your follow through right now? You following through on things a little bit better, sis?
Yes, I'm good. I'm in a really good space, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for you all, and thank you to your listeners.
Yes.
Again, if you want to learn more about me, ShawntaJackson.com, and the book is only available at ShawntaJackson.com.
Okay, well, Shawnta, you have a great evening. Thank you again. Hopefully we can get you back on the show to talk more with us, and just stay blessed and stay amazing. All right, sister?
For sure. It'll be in person.
Yes, next time. Come on to Chicago. Come on back. All right, girlfriend. Talk to you soon. You're listening to Samantha Thomas on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.